I'm Keith.
And I'm Georgia.
And we're living a dream. So we just left the Dakota Territory Air Museum, which is a Harvest Host site. We had a great night there. We even had pizza delivered to our spot. We were the only ones there all night. And we are headed through the rest of North Dakota into Montana, where we will stay at Fort Peck Corps of Engineers Downstream Campground, it's called. Gonna be warm. It's gonna be in the 90s both nights that we're there. We're there 2 nights. All right, we just crossed into Montana, and we have about 2 hours to go till we get to Fort Peck, the Big Sky State. Beautiful drive. We went through a couple small little rainstorms, nothing big, and it looks like we're just going to have sunny, hot weather for a couple days now while we're here at Fort Peck. Okay, what's in front of us is the earthen dam that is Fort Peck Dam. The Fort Peck Dam is 4 miles long and 250 feet high. It is the largest hydraulically filled dam in the United States. It dams off the Missouri River to create the 5th largest artificial lake in the country, Fort Peck Lake. The lake, the dam, and the campground are all operated by the Army Corps of Engineers. We like the Army Corps of Engineers campgrounds. They're usually very well laid out, very reasonable. Usually have electricity and water, not always full hookups, but very good campgrounds, and usually a pretty good amount of space for your site. Hi, how are you? Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Fort Peck Lake offers good salmon and walleye fishing, so lots of the campers in the park have boats with them, and there's a launch right in the park also. This particular campground, the sites are electric only, and so water is available at spigots placed in different areas around the campground. After a long series of one-night boondocking stops, it will be nice to have 2 nights in a row, and we'll unhook when we get to our site. And of course, cook a nice steak dinner. We're here at Fort Peck Downstream COE Campground in Montana, and we only had about a 270-mile drive today. We got in pretty early. We got in here about 1 o'clock. We are now in mountain time. Tomorrow we're going to do a little exploring. This is a really cool spot, and we'll show you some more tomorrow. We just finished a nice thick cut ribeye for our meal for the day, and basically everything's going smooth. Beautiful weather here. It's about 92 and sunny now. We drove through a little bit of rain on the way up, but right now it's great. So this is our first 2-night stop in many days, and after this it's all 3- and 4-night stops all the way into California. So we've got lots of adventuring to do, and lots of things to see. We only had 1 day at Fort Peck, so we made it a full one. In the morning, we went over to the Fort Peck Dam Interpretive Center. This is one of the first interpretive centers I've ever seen that's run by the Army Corps of Engineers, and it was very well done. In 1988, a local rancher named Kathy Winkle discovered a T-Rex skeleton in the sediment near Fort Peck Lake. It turned out to be one of the most complete T-Rex fossils ever found, containing approximately 90% of the skeleton, including the skull. The dam was built hydraulically, meaning the local area was dredged, and then that slurry was pumped up to the top of the dam and then allowed to settle and drain. Later on that evening, we also got to enjoy a private tour of the dam powerhouse. Then later that night, after we went to bed, a bad storm came up and they were calling for 3-inch hail and up to 80-mile-an-hour winds. So we sheltered in the shower house for a couple hours and everything turned out to be fine. There was about 35-mile-per-hour winds was all. But it made for a long night. We didn't get to bed till about 1 a.m. and had about 400 miles the next morning to get to Glacier. Please join us for episode 62 as we head to Glacier National Park.